So I am basically playing against a 14K on OGS. So this is going to be another teaching game. The weird thing about OGS is that you don't set a rank when you first start playing. They just set you up against random people. I think people on OGS actually do tend to play a little bit more to the Joseki than other players. Let's see if that's true or not, because like I bet a 14Q on Fox would just pincer. So let's see if he does that. So he does that. So even though when I play these 14Qs, they're actually a lot worse than the 5Qs on Fox, they don't get crushed as quickly, and they don't actually get crushed quite as quickly. That's a bad move. They don't get crushed quite as quickly. Because they actually follow Josekis. And if you follow Josekis, generally you're not going to get crushed quite as quickly. But as you can see, he's not making any points here, and I'm gaining a lot of points on the bottom. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to ignore that, and we're going to fly up here and attack him. The point of this is not actually to kill him, though. You're not really going to be able to kill him on this at all. Probably should just have kept on extending, but I did actually want to... I do actually want to solidify this part. So essentially he can live. If he does that, he's going to live. It's Gote for him, though. And obviously, I have a huge advantage. So I'm just going to go play this over here. So he's essentially like... Oh, that's useless. Oh, wait. He was actually dead if I did that. Oh, sorry. My bad. My bad. I screwed up that. I assumed that... You know what? You know what I thought? I actually thought he played here. Yeah, if you play here, you're dead. But like, I actually thought he actually played here. So that was my mistake. I just assumed that he made the right move, which I guess against 14Q I can't just assume he makes the right move. But I kind of assume he made the right move. But you can see my shape is a lot better. Yeah, I can't believe I missed that because I guess I can't assume that these guys just make the right move. There is a Ko-Aji here. There's definitely a Ko-Aji here. So if he actually comes out, so I actually have to fix this. Probably by doing this. Or maybe by just connecting. Because he can do this and then play the Ko here. And since he's already alive, the Ko isn't heavy for him and it's heavy for me. So I need to fix this sometime. But I don't know if he'll actually know how to do that. But he's just basically letting me build my outside influence. Which is not great for him. I'm just going to go ahead and get this side as well. See, like I said, like, these, I'm not actually trying to kill him. He's 14Q, so I probably could, but that's not actually my goal right now. My goal is just to... My goal, honestly, is more to just kind of like solidify my territory. And that was actually a bad move. He could have actually broken my territory down here. He 100% could have broken my territory down there. Still not alive here, but I'm going to just jump up here. And there's definitely still Aji in the corner here. So I'm going to have to do a repairing move in the corner because if he does that, it's going to give me some trouble. So this almost fixes this problem here. And that gives me this side. think I'm just going to go ahead and do this just to fix this entirely right now. Now that's completely fixed. I don't know why he did that. But you know, like, they do them things. Like, this is still somewhat this is actually still somewhat worrisome for me. Not all that worrisome, but still somewhat worrisome for me. Like this move right here. Definitely not a big fan, but I'm not going to go ahead and repair that right now. Now, some of you might be... actually, I'm going to do this because he's not actually alive yet here. I want him to do things like this. Because the more solidified I get on the outside, the easier I can invade like stuff like this. And plus, like, he just solidifies more of my territory down here. Like I said, there's still Aji here. So I'm a little bit worried about this, but he's probably going to give me, like... He's probably going to give me a fix on this. And I don't think I need to do anything here. He's alive, so I'm not going to bother to try to kill him, obviously. But it does actually lend the way to me, like, to certain invasions. Now, I'm pretty sure there's a way he can kill this corner. That's not the way to kill this corner, by the way. But he just let me basically take the entire corner. So there is a way to play this. One way to try to kill it, but I'm actually pretty strong on the outside. His influence out here is completely useless because I'm already strong out here. So he's not going to make any territory up here. He basically just lost all his bottom territory. See, I'm not really killing any of this guy's pieces, but I'm so far ahead that it really is irrelevant. Now I'm going to take this side. He can build as much influence as he wants up here. It's going to be completely worthless. His influence out there is not worth anything. Because he can't use it. Like, it's hard to use influence if you're facing someone else's influence. And if someone else's group isn't already weak, it's very hard. Like, you might look at this, you might actually look at this game. You might be tempted to look at this game and some of my other games on Fox against 5Qs, and you might be tempted to say, oh, these guys are better than the 5Qs because they're not losing as quickly against him. But that would be a bad read on the situation. The 5Qs are a lot better than these guys. They give me more, like, this is just passively losing. Like, playing like this is like basically playing all these invasions wrong and playing like, you know, running and fighting completely wrong. So like, the 5Qs actually make more correct moves. But because the moves that they mess up on are generally like a lot worse, they look like they're worse, but they're actually much better than this guy. Also, like, I kind of assumed this guy made the right move down there, so I didn't watch and move somewhere else. If I just played here, he would have been dead. So there's another thing, like, you know, there's another thing you need to actually pay attention to. So, like, I might not win this game by, like, 100 points or something. I probably will, actually, because he has no territory. But the thing is, like, this, like, all these moves, like, that move is completely pointless. I'm just gonna jump up here. But the thing is, like, this guy just loses. This guy basically, like, those guys, they actually gave some kind of a fight. This guy will just lose very, very passively, and that's really not any better. Because, like, I would definitely have to say that this guy made more incorrect moves. I would definitely have to say that this guy definitely made more incorrect moves than some of the 5Q, than all the 5Qs I played on Fox. So, I mean, he's 14K, so you kind of expect him to. He is 14K, so you kind of expect him to make more incorrect moves. But yeah, like, he's definitely not as good as some of like the 5Ks on Fox. So the difference isn't that big between Fox and OGS on ranks. Still pretty big though. Still pretty big, I have to say. See, like this entire side, it was his territory. Now it's mine. So those of you who are actually starting at 14, 15K, you should actually take a note of this game and watch how I'm playing, because none of these moves I'm playing are really that complex. They're very simple forcing moves. I even screwed up down here. I didn't kill his group, even though I could have easily. They're just simple. Like this move right here isn't worth that much because he can't actually invade down there, while this move over here is actually worth a lot because he can actually destroy like all these points in here. There's still that Aji over there, which I'm going to fix. I'm sure he doesn't actually see it. I don't think it actually works at this point, but he does have this move right here. I think I just do this. Yeah. Crawls over there. That's fine. Oh, that's a nice little thing he did. But I'm definitely going to fix this here. I don't think he sees it. You could just play here, and that would definitely give me some trouble. A little bit of trouble. I don't know if it actually works in there. I didn't calculate it out, but there's no need to connect that right now. I think he's actually dead now, though. Yeah, he's definitely dead. I think he's been dead for a while. I just haven't really watched. That's useless. Yeah, he's dead now. I should have killed him earlier. Definitely should have killed him earlier. But whatever. So I'm going to show you guys how he's actually dead. I mean, he's already dead. I don't have to do anything. But this is not a real eye here, so this whole group is dead. This group has been dead for a while, actually. I guess I was just like doing other things really fast, but that group's actually been dead for a while. I need to fix this down here, because this, like, jumping in or even doing this is a problem. But in terms for this game, we're just going to pretend that this is alive. And that's like the best lesson that you guys are going to get from this game. Just pretend this is alive. Even if this was alive, I would still win by like 60, 70 points. Just by doing really, really simple, basic moves. And that's really how you should look at how you should look at how to improve out of DDK. Because DDK players make a whole lot of mistakes. I think I can probably do that, but... DDK players make a whole lot of mistakes. I think I can do this because, yeah. DDK players make a whole lot of mistakes. That doesn't do anything. And because they make a whole lot of mistakes, you can simply just play a lot of forcing moves. Like, they don't... Like, DDK players don't understand the pace of a game at all. I mean, yeah, they definitely don't understand, like, the life and death Josekis and stuff. He probably still thinks this piece is alive. But this piece is dead. I'm going to show him once and for all that this piece is dead. That's useless. I don't need to answer that, but I'm just going to show him that this piece is dead and that he can't actually do anything about it. Like, there's 4 here, but squeezing this only leaves 3. I should have done that a lot earlier. But this piece is completely dead. But I'm just going to pretend that this piece is actually... I'm going to pretend that this piece is actually alive. That's useless. I think that takes care of everything, right?
Pass.
Because he can't actually do anything. Like, everything's essentially dead.
Remove the dead stones. You have won.
Yeah, I won by 84.5 points. Even without this, I would have won by like 100 points. So it doesn't really matter. So, I mean, even had I not killed this at the end, I should have killed this in the beginning. By the way, should have killed this mid game. Even had I not killed this at the end, I would have still won by over 100 points. So this is just like passively losing, just playing a lot more efficient Go. How do I analyze this game? Let me actually, okay. There we go. So I do like OGS's review capabilities a lot better. Play here, he plays here. This is pretty standard. There's no mistakes so far. Now that is the first mistake because that allows me to go here. And the thing is, like, if you do something like this, and I do this, and then you do this, you give me the corner, and you have a very, like, your space is very small, and plus you're still bumped against my 2. So this is a bad invasion move right here. This is definitely like a very, very bad invasion. This is actually a very bad invasion move. If you want to invade this side right now, the 3-3 is easily the best invasion move. If you want to invade on this side. I personally think the best move right now is probably either here or here. So that's my opinion. This is a bad invasion move. That's his first mistake. This one I'm not sure. Like, for me, I might have been better off doing this, but it's not that relevant. Because doing this, like, you leave, like, later on you leave things like that. I mean, right now he wouldn't do it because I can just Atari up here, but like this, like, if you do this, there's no, I think this corner is like more solid if you do this, and also like he doesn't have this move later on, so that might not have been the best move, but it's not all that relevant right now. I essentially do this because I'm trying to cover the bottom, and obviously, like, right now, as the AI actually says, this would be the best move for him. Just don't actually pay attention to this stuff over here. This would actually be the best move for him. I would do this, he would actually do this. And this would actually give him a much, much better shape than what he had. I can't Hane out here because he would just block here. And I would have to protect, and then he gets that. So like that would definitely be the best move to go. But of course he doesn't see that. He does this. That's a pretty bad move because it solidifies me even further. He does this, I go down. He does that, I'm going to fly up because I want this Moyo over here. So his group is still, it's not really that weak because he can just do this. He can honestly just do that and form an eye down there anytime. But this already gives me like a lot of Moyo shape over here. So so I come up, he does that. That gives me a very, very comfortable over right there. And he does, that's not a good move either. If you're going to do this, you got to move here or maybe even here. Or actually the best move is still this right now. This move isn't all that relevant. I mean, it's not that important at all. The best move is probably still here. This is a very, very slow move in terms of pace. See, I'm not actually trying to kill this group right now. I'm just trying to solidify my influence and territory over here. I jump up. Yeah, that's not the right way. You got to do. If you're going to Hane out, you got to do that. You're already in a pretty bad situation already. You don't want to trap it where you really don't want to trap it where I have the full excursion here. So he connects, which is really bad. Letting me connect makes me very strong. If you're going to do this, you have to dig. Because, you know, I have more cutting points here now that you can actually exploit. But even the dig would be a really bad move right now. So he does that. He lets me connect this. Now, this is actually dead. If I do this, it's dead. I think I just kind of assumed, like, I didn't actually watch his play. I think I kind of assumed he did this because I thought he would understand that, you know, if you do this, it's alive. But I should have been paying more attention. As soon as he did this, I should have done this, and that would have been dead. So that was my mistake because I assumed he played right, actually. I'm going to take time to do this. He does this. I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to do that. Now, here's the thing. Like, he does that, I do this. Here's the thing. Like, if you want to break this, like, you do have this move, right? And this ko is very, very light for you. This ko is very, very light for you because you're already alive. So you would do something like this. You would actually, you could actually force me to fight the ko, and then you just look for ko threats. Because if you have this ko, like, if I connect, which I would do, there is like this move. There is like this over here. There's definitely that kind of move over there, and you can actually break out. That is if you actually win the ko. I mean, you have to win the ko, but this is actually kind of troublesome for me later on. Like right now, it wouldn't really work all that well, but later on, that is actually troublesome for me. And since you're already alive, it's not that much of a big deal for you. So there is like a lot of aji here if you actually do like this kind of move. In the future, if you do this kind of move, there is actually a lot of aji here. So we definitely leave like a lot of room for error there, but that's not actually what happened. He played, that's like an equally bad invasion move as this invasion over here. Like, don't make this invasion where you're right next, like, okay, so like, I know like the shoulder hit is a very popular move. You know, it's one that AlphaGo actually popularized. I don't like the 5th line shoulder move, but the thing is, like, the under shoulder move is not a good play usually. It basically bumps you up against something that's very strong, and it forces you to make like other bumping moves, which are really, really, really bad. Of course, like the double Hane feels really bad for him. He does this. Now I'll let him crawl on the outside all he wants. This time, like, I can let him Hane here. I just want the bottom territory. He does that. Of course, I'm going to solidify the corner here. So when I do this, there is this move. So there is this move, and that's actually really bad for me. But because you're breaking my bottom territory here, and I don't know if I could. I don't think I can actually kill this right now. Obviously, I mean, he's 14k, so I could probably kill it. But if he wasn't 14k, I probably could not kill this. So that's actually like, this kind of sequence is bad for me, and I knew it, but I just wanted to see if he knew how to play it. Doing this, and he does this. I do this. That's really not necessary right now. But so in the end, there is this move, and that really could be somewhat problematic for me later, because if you just, because like, you know, the thing is, like, if you do this and you do this, like, now there's a Liberties battle, and I don't think I actually win this one. Black does not actually win this one. Because he has all this stuff up here, the jump down here doesn't really work all that well. And that's how usually you would kill this group. But because he has stuff up here, that doesn't really work all that well. So since you can't actually use the jump down here, you have to block. And then he can do this, and it's a ko. So that's the actual corner Joseki that you can do here. Obviously, he didn't do that. This is definitely more complex and higher level than 14k, but there is definitely that aji there. There obviously like is something like this, but you're always kind of afraid of this cut if you actually do stuff like this. And he can do things like this. Now, if you do this, he can cut, and now that's kind of a problem if he does that. If he does that, that is kind of a problem if he actually cuts. So, because he has all this influence stuff up here, that the corner becomes somewhat problematic. But he never played that, obviously, especially since he's already extended down here. Like, that frees me up on Liberty, so I probably would just let him live in the corner at this point if he actually invaded. This is I don't know about this move. I mean, there's so many other moves you could actually do to actually influence that looks better. And plus, your head is still out here. I mean, your head is still up here. I mean, like, you could try to do things like this. And, and like I said, like, there's Aji over here. So, there's definitely Aji over there. So, I don't know. If someone did this, I feel like there'd be more transformations down here. I mean, it's definitely like not. It's definitely pretty complex. I just don't really know. I don't like that move. I don't want him to. I'm actually more concerned with just getting the bottom territory than killing him. I mean, if I really wanted to kill him, I'd actually extend this way. But the thing is, like, that's not a good move. I mean, you just do something like this. There's a lot of ways. This group isn't very strong, but there's a lot of ways to make eyes down here. So I don't know. I feel like I wasn't really obsessed with killing this, honestly. I knew there were problems over here, so I fixed that, but I probably should have just done this and, like, started to kill him. Because if he does this, I mean, this is dead either way. If I do that. So yeah, I just didn't kill him for a long time because I guess I didn't really, it didn't really matter. Do this. That is a completely this is a completely wasted move here because this is already alive. I would never go here. This move serves no purpose. Do that. Now at this time he's dead. He's essentially dead at this point. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just done this and done this. Now he's dead. He can't really do anything. But I actually left this group alive because I just got stupid, left this group alive. Because, like, like in this kind of game, I'm like, yeah, I've already won this game. I'm just not really paying that much attention. I'm just, like, making, like, these corner moves. But it does actually allow me to do more teaching. So here, that's actually not the right move because you're not putting any pressure on this stone. If you want to block the way home, you just do this. And he's actually under a lot more pressure here. Now, the thing is, like, I don't really know if this would actually work right now. Because, like, you have to block his way over here. And this is obviously alive. Or, like, if he does that, you could just... If he does that, you could just do this. And essentially, like, he essentially gets Gote back, but you still reserve this, and that would be fine as well. But I could also, if you do this, I could also play this, and maybe do like some maybe like do some Aji over here, something like that. I don't know if that would be alive. I don't think so. Yeah, this doesn't really work. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, he's pretty weak over here, so I don't think he would actually do that. There's definitely some Aji up here, and you could actually do this, but he actually chose the worst of all the moves. He does that. I actually threaten to do that. He blocks. I fly. Then I do this. That's a completely useless move as well. I mean, you gotta control me over here or something. And then I would probably just go ahead and do this. Now, there is still this move over here. But that's not going to work right now. But, like, when we're doing this, there is that move right there to reduce eye space, maybe. And if you want to just put one in the center, you could just kind of, like, do this. You could definitely just do this, like, do that move prematurely. Just remember, that move is always there. If you want to, like, kind of try to put a stone in the center of his eye and see if you can make two eyes one. That move is always there. Right now, it wouldn't actually work. But, you know, now definitely it doesn't work. And the reason I don't mind doing this, because this influence is useless for him up here. I've already got this wall here, and my group is very strong, so he can't attack me, and he can't really get that much territory. That, I don't know. Like, I feel like that might actually be a better move at this point. Just protect the corner. That's actually a decent one. That's completely useless. I'm just going to take all the points. See, that's useless because it doesn't force me. It doesn't force me to do anything. That doesn't force me to answer. I'm not in any danger, so I'm just going to jump up, and that's a much better move. This is just like pure shape recognition. Oh, I did that because I don't like. Well, I guess I don't have to do that, I guess, but yeah, I should have just leapt up. I didn't know what I was thinking. I should have just went up. Did this just to fix this, I guess. Then, you know, you get the double Hane thing. Here, you definitely do this. The most I can do is do something like this. But then, well, I wouldn't do that, but I mean, the most I could do is something like that. But then you'd be one more line over, and you'd be much, much better off. So it's just like lack of calculation at 14Q. You do that. I'm going to dig home. The correct move is actually to do that. That's the correct move there. Break my bottom points. That's not the correct move. Now you can see I get all the bottom points. That's not bad. That's useless because, once again, there's not many points there. And right now, that's much bigger. I mean, right now, obviously, this is easily the biggest move because it kills this group. But just did this, do that. I think he thinks this group is actually alive. And I didn't really bother to look, so I'm guessing I thought it was alive as well. It's not a bad move. I'm going to fix this thing in the corner. He does this. I don't know why he did that. I'm like, oh yeah, that group's not actually alive. And I finally kill it. I should have done that a long time ago, by the way. But I eventually do kill it. He should have just made this alive. But the thing is, like, I wasn't really watching for that. And the reason I wasn't really watching for that is because he has no territory anyways. And even if this group was actually alive, he'd still lose by 100 points. So I just wasn't really looking to kill. I should have recognized that a long time ago. And that's basically the end of the game. So we went over this game on OGS. We actually went over this game on OGS. And there was a lot of DDK mistakes. I kind of explained what they were. Like, you got to look out for shapes. And you got to, like, avoid too many gotes. And you gotta like, watch out for stuff like this. Like, moving here is dead, going here is actually alive. So get used to the life and death shapes. Basically, like, try to assess the value each move. Because basically, he was just following along with my moves. And my moves just ended up being worth, like, so much more than his. And basically, even though I could have killed this group, even though I, like, screwed up, I didn't actually kill this group. I mean, this group's not really killable with two players about the same strength. But it was easily killable for me. But the thing is, like, even if I didn't kill it, like, I used this group to make all this territory down here. And that's easily solidifying a win. And obviously, like, how to handle invasion and how to not handle invasions. There were a lot of DDK type of lessons. So I hope you learned something from this. I might be doing this on OGS more because I do like OGS's reviewing capabilities better. I don't really like OGS that much because it doesn't match me against players of, like, similar rank. It doesn't let me set a rank, but I think after playing a couple of games, it'll actually adjust my rank. I should be probably, like, at least 2 or 3 down on OGS. So obviously playing 14K, there's going to be a lot of mistakes. So since I'm like 5-6 down on Fox, I should be at least 2-3 down on OGS. So that's just how this game actually fleshed out. But, you know, like, a lot of critical mistakes, and a lot of stuff you can learn from if you're a DDK move, starting with that this invasion is a really bad invasion. So I hope you learned something. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys later.